man, thanks for joining me. Thanks for speaking with me. 3-0 in Bellator. You beat
Yes,
up my
sir.
boy Cat Bell. I wasn't happy with you there, but
Oh man,
only,
I think a lot of people weren't happy about that one, but
I like Cass, man. I've
yeah, I
talked to
like Cass. I mean, I like Cass too. I really like him. I feel like he's a good person and he's cool, man. He's down to earth, cool dude. You say what?
I said just had to go whoop that ass, huh?
Yeah, I just had to, man. Every now and then. The last two people I fought, I really liked them, but
It is
what it is.
That's right. So you're a D2. For people who don't know you, you're Division 2 two-time national champion. You're 3-0 in Bellator. You have one career loss, and that's to Merab Divishvili, who's turns out is a really great fighter as well. So
yeah,
man, how was the transition from wrestling to fighting? What was that like? Because I find a lot of wrestlers, they get this really insane work ethic just instilled from them from when they wrestled, and they do well. Or did you find the same thing?
Yeah, mine was pretty much the same. Like my work ethic was always like pretty high, and I attribute that to wrestling. And then when I started with Jens Pover, who was also a wrestler and turned out to be a really good striker in MMA. So he helped me, I think, with the mindset and transition into MMA made it a lot smoother for me.
Yeah, do you feel like wrestling is probably it's a meme at this point, but it's the best base for MMA if you want to be honest?
Yeah, for sure. I think for sure. Not only because of the work ethic and kind of the mindset wrestling brings to like how you practice and how you perform, but also like what was I gonna say? I said not only mindset. The body control and body awareness that you get from wrestling, like you're able to, kind of like similar to how gymnastics are, you're like aware of where your body is, so you can manipulate it, manipulate your body and someone else's body fairly, or you're fairly familiar with doing that. So
right.
I think that's one of the reasons wrestling is, it's definitely the best.
So your Instagram says future Bellator champ. I like that.
Yeah, yes sir.
You're 3-0, man. What did you take away from your last fight with Lee? First of all, I was confused at first. I grew up with a guy named Keith Lee. I'm like, there's no way he's fighting Stots. Oh my God. He doesn't fight or nothing. I was just confused for a second. I was like, okay, thank God. I didn't want him to die.
You grew up with a guy. There's I didn't know as a WWE Keith Lee too. And people were like asking me about that too. And I was like, oh man, no. It's Kevin Lee's little brother, man. Every Keith Lee sounds like, I guess there's a lot of them out there. But I took away from that fight pretty much what I already knew, Actually, who was it? Josh Thompson, or the commentator, Josh, what is it? I think it's Thompson.
Oh, yeah, Thompson. It's Thompson. I'm thinking Josh Palmer for a second. That's Cage Warriors, though.
Yeah. It's Josh Thompson. But yeah, he was like, he gave me a question, was like, hey, who was Sean Bunch wasn't able to take Keith Lee down, and he kind of wasn't able to control him, and he's arguably a better wrestler he is a better wrestler than me on paper. And so what makes you think you'll be able to get him down, or or stuff like that, but I just feel like I mesh it all together well, and like I'm good enough everywhere that everything is a problem, and it's hard for you to see where I'm coming from. So that's why I'm a better wrestler, I feel like, in MMA, and that's what I took away from it. Wherever the fight goes, I'm comfortable with. If the fight stays on the feet, I'm comfortable there. If it goes on the ground, I'm really comfortable there. So just further proves that I'm one of the best.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one thing we see with a lot of wrestlers is they find striking and they fall in love with the hands. And the top guys, like you look at like Usman and stuff like that. Usman's very similar to you, Division 2 national champion.
Yeah, I wrestled on the same team as Usman.
Oh, did you? I didn't know that. Oh, God.
Yeah, he was actually my college. He was my coach at Team Texas duels, or like the Fargo. He was one of my coaches there, and then I went to Nebraska Kearney the year after he left, and
wow.
I've known him forever. So
y'all still talk?
Yeah, we still talk. Yeah, every he, what I'm saying, like every fight. When I came to college, he was like, because he's also Nigerian, and his mom knows, I'm Nigerian, so she'll always like tell him like, look out for me, So Usman like feels like he's like a big brother, to me, and that's kind of how he talked to me, like he's a big brother. But it's cool. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
No,
Back to my
I appreciate all the advice he always gives me, and
right.
encouragement and stuff.
Right. But like back to my original point though, like a lot of wrestlers fall in love with the striking. Like look at Aaron Pico, phenomenal wrestler, but he fell in love with the striking, had some setbacks, and his last fight he put it together and he meshed it real well. Do you find that that's a struggle for you? Like, oh man, I can't fall in love with the hands.
You know what? Like I started with Jens Pover, and Jens Pover has given me a lot of knowledge of things that he necessarily that he would have done differently, and I take them all to heart. It's a lot of things he said in his career. If he would have done it over, he would have done it this way. And I take heed to Jens's word. Like he's like my mentor pretty much. Anytime like I have a question about fighting, about the business aspect, that I go to Gents, and he told me like if you do anything, or if he did anything different, he wouldn't fall away from his wrestling. He got to knocking people out, and it's like easy to knock people out, or it's fun. It's like the best feeling ever. And he fell in love with it. He said he fell in love with it, and he wished he would have just kept going with the wrestling, just for the longevity of his career, and being able to like mix things up. He feels like so I'll always use my wrestling. My wrestling will always be a part of my game. I'm definitely going to be like using other techniques, and I'm using them all together, but wrestling is definitely a big part of it.
Right. And that's not to say that a wrestler shouldn't go out and learn how to become the best striker possible.
Yeah.
You always want to get better wherever your chinks in the armor are, so, but you also can't forget what you're great at, and exactly. I feel like that's a big issue. So let's circle back a little bit. You talked about the Nigerian heritage when we were talking about Kamaru and stuff. Man, there is a giant explosion of African fighters coming into mixed martial arts. Tell me y'all secret. What's going on, bro? I love
it must be in the fufu that they make, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I have noticed, it's a lot of very successful people of African descent in MMA, and I don't know what it is. They got Sadiq Yusuf, Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya. They got a ton of them, So I don't know what it is, they're just probably, it's just like I feel like Mexicans in boxing and Hawaiians, they come to fight too,
Yeah.
It's just one of those races that they excel in mixed martial arts.
And what I find interesting about it is it's not like Mexicans in boxing, you see they come and they bring a fight, but with the Africans that we've seen, they're all different. Usman wrestles, Izzy's a counter fighter, Sadiq brings bombs, So,
yeah. Oh, fuck Francis Ngannou.
Oh my God! How did I forget Francis?
Palmer, yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true, man.
It's awesome to see though, because you see it a lot, because we've seen, the Russians have come through. You see a lot of Russians. I think Mexicans are in the future, but Africa's come out. You got Australia. I think that the sport's really growing internationally, and that's really
that's cool to see, man. That's awesome to see, especially the exposure, other countries are getting, us being from America, I feel like we only see American stuff. We're only, fed American stuff, so it's cool to see, especially if you're like from a different ethnicity, to see all the different nationalities, Joanna Jurczyk, her, what is that, Polish? She's Polish. So is the champion at 180 or 205 now. I forget his name, but
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine brought this to my attention. There's only one American champion in the men's UFC, and that's Stipe. Think about it for a second. Biggie Figueiredo is
Brazilian.
Who's next? 135.
He's Russian. Peter Yan.
Petr Yan. And then 145 is Volkanovski. 155 was Khabib.
Wow.
Yeah, 170 is Kamaru. 185 is Israel. And then 205 is Yan. There's one American champion. That's
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the rest aren't Brazilian either. It's very, very diverse.
Yeah, it's like even out, or it's like spread all over. That's awesome. That's awesome. That means that's awesome for the sport, you know. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
them women. Let me think of women for a second. You got Wiley, who's Chinese.
Yep.
135 is
Bullet.
Nunes. And then you got Bullet. Yeah, so oh my gosh, there's one American champion in the UFC right
One
now.
American champion. That's crazy to think.
I like it.
That is crazy.
I like it.
Wow.
So let's talk about Bellator for a little bit. You are part of a recent rash of signings within the last few years. Bellator had the reputation of being the UFC's old people league.
Yep.
But recently they've been making some great signings. You got Pico. You've got what was the Russian guy they signed recently? It's a bunch
Magomedov. They got
Yeah.
Umar Magomedov, I think. Like who's Khabib's brother or cousin or something. Something like that. Yeah, no. I think there's been a shift in the Bellator trajectory or where they're headed. I mean I like it. I feel like they're getting all top prospects and there you don't see a lot of gimme fights. You don't see a lot of gimme fights in Bellator. And they're like competing, or they got top level talent, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I mean that was one of the reasons I chose Bellator. I seen they were headed in a different direction, and also the $1 million tournament was something that caught my eye. So
well, yeah, let's go do that. I like it, huh?
yeah. Yeah, especially for a fighter like me where I feel like I match up well with a lot of people and I don't take a lot of damage. If I can get a tournament style, where there's no like politics involved. You just fight the next person in line on the bracket. That's a win-win for me.
I like it. So when can we expect to see you back in the cage?
Man, I'm hoping to get in the cage either January or February. More likely February, just because I know they got other people that want to fight. Yeah, if I can get back in February, it'd be awesome if I can get back in on a card with one of my teammates, Sergio Pettis. I think he's fighting for the bantamweight belt next here soon, and then Emmanuel Sanchez, who's fighting for the featherweight belt, and he's in the Grand Prix tournament. So he's fighting for the featherweight belt and to move on to the finals of the tournament. So if I could fight on a card with any one of those, that'll be dope.
Just put them in the gym. Put them at Rufus Fort Gym. Make the
full
card.
You might as well start it up. You know what I'm saying? We can't do crowds anyways yet. So yeah. Just bring it to Roof. Bring all the fights to Rufus Sport. That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Even worry about corner.
We got a cage set up already. You know what I'm saying? Put some cameras in there. We'd be good to go. We'd be good to go.
Raufeon, it's been a pleasure, man. I really enjoyed our talk. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me Raufeon Stots, one word, on Instagram and Twitter. I actually started a TikTok too, so Raufeon Stots on there, and then on Facebook you can find me Raufeon Stots, 2 words.
You're the man. I'm looking forward to the next fight, man. It's gonna be a blast.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you not holding it against me, Cass Bell, man.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
For sure.
Later, man.
Later.